What if one question could change your entire life? One moment you're spiraling through pain, confusion, and maybe even destruction. And the next you're locked into a future where you're clear, you're confident, and you're powerful, you're resilient. See, that question was asked of me during one of my lowest points in my life, and it rewired my destiny. I found myself in the middle of a separation that was moving towards divorce. I had spent thousands of dollars in personal development and coaching, hundreds of coaching hours where I was receiving really powerful coaching. But the most powerful transformation came from a simple question, from a simple interruption. See, my coach had this habit of just reaching out to me randomly. He would ask me, he was a former police officer, he would ask me what my 1020 was. In other words, that was code for what's my location. And he wasn't talking about my physical location. He was actually wondering, where was I? Where was my location mentally, emotionally, physically, or spiritually? Where was I? So he reached out and he talked to me one day, and I was talking to him. I was venting to him about the separation. My ex-wife had separated. She was gone. And I was talking about the whole situation and my ex-wife. And naturally, I was angry and I was bitter and I was lost and I was extremely negative. And in this moment, he stops me cold. He's, man, I've listened to you. I've held space for you for 10 minutes and you're completely negative. You're focused on the things that you don't want. You're completely negative. And then he says, like, none of what you're saying is grounded in truth. And he asks a very simple question. And this changed the trajectory of my life for the next 5 years and basically forever. He asks, what do you want? Like, what do you actually want? And it stopped me. It forced me out of my story. It forced me out of the pit. And it said, what did I actually want in my future? Like, what did I want in every area of my life? And that led me on an inquiry. It led me back to the techniques and tactics I knew through decades, 20 plus years of personal development. I knew how to set goals, to visualize, to affirm, to manifest what I wanted. I knew. But it took a coach to snap me back to reality and ask that question, like, what do I want? Really, I like to change the word from want to desire or to intention. So what did I intend in every area of my life? What did I desire in every area of my life? My spiritual journey, my spiritual connection to the Creator. What did I want in my relationships? I mean, the one relationship was failing, but if I were to be married again, in partnership again, what was it that I would desire and intend in a woman, in a partner? What is it that I desired my children and that connection in life? What did I desire in my health and fitness, in my workspace, in business? What did I desire for my future as I retired into business? What did I actually desire? And ultimately, what did I desire in my finances? But again, the key question was, what did I want? It wasn't therapy. It wasn't coaching. It was clarity. He just snapped me into reality. It wasn't pity. It was power. So here are the lessons that I learned through that one question. What do you want? The first lesson I learned was your thoughts determine your trajectory. I knew this, but it took somebody to snap me back. Every outcome begins in the unseen. Proverbs say, as a man thinketh, so is he. An entire book's written on this. As a man thinketh, by James Allen. It's a great book to read. It's a very short book to read. But again, everything begins in the garden of the mind, as James Allen would say. Everything begins in the mind. All creation begins in our thoughts, our beliefs, our words, our choices and actions. Philippians 4:8 urges us to think about what is true, noble, right, and pure. Even God's truth points us to this power of truth, this power of thought. The right things, the pure things. See, our thoughts, beliefs, words, choices, and actions drive us towards our destiny or destruction, our purpose and our potential. The second lesson I learned out of this question of what do you want is that truth is the foundation of freedom. Truth is the foundation of freedom. See, most people live in assumptions, words, and projections. See, most people live in, we're meaning-making machines. They live in the stories about what happened and not what actually happened. They live in the stories. And sometimes you can even say they live in the lies. So one of the most important questions that was asked of me in the coaching experience was, is it true? Is my thoughts, my beliefs, my words true? Are my thoughts, beliefs, words, choices, and actions, are they grounded in truth? Are they true? See, truth is the light that clears confusion. It clears the fog. That's how we go from dark to light, when we align our thoughts, beliefs, words, choices, and actions with truth. What is actually true? See, that question led me to clarity too. So for the third lesson, clarity creates momentum. The minute he asked me, what do I want? I got clear on exactly what I desired in every area of my life. And then immediately I started moving forward. It took, some things were almost instant, and some things took a little bit of time when I got clear on my intentions. In my divorce, I got to a clear mutual agreement that was very civil, and we didn't have to contest it. It wasn't high conflict. We moved towards a very civil court case where it led to a mutual agreement. There was no trial, there was no conflict. There was some mediation, but there was no conflict. Within a month and a half of setting a clear intention on a partner in life, my partner showed up in less than a month and a half. So again, clarity creates this momentum. My sons came home and we got to spend some time. They came home from college, they got to help with their daughter, and we got to spend time breaking bread, connecting, and being a family. So again, clarity creates momentum. After my coach asked me, what do you want? I answered honestly. And within weeks, I was in a new relationship. Things were opening up in my life. I started living with intention, and that clarity attracted movement. My fourth lesson from that question was, intentions must be declared. They must be clearly, they should be written down. They should be thought about. They should be meditated on. They should be written down. They should be spoken out loudly in the morning, in the evening, when we awake and before we go to bed. There's a lot of science behind that. But again, intentions must be declared and affirmed. Vision doesn't live in your mind. It lives in your words, and it lives in your actions. Write it, speak it, become it. Ask the question. When you ask the question, what do I want? What's my intention? Then you can ask the question, who must I become? Who must I be for that intention to show up, for it to become real, for it to manifest? The phrase I am brings your future into the now. Every time we say the words I am, we are aligning with the Creator, who's the great I am. Every time we speak the words I am and put something on the other side of that, like I am a champion, I am wealthy, I'm a millionaire, we are stepping into creation, the creation of that intention. Every time we say the words I am, we are stepping into creation. The fifth lesson I learned was that you need anchors. You need anchors. You need a center, you need your circle, and you need a coach. See, no man can grow in isolation. See, for me, that coach showed up when I absolutely needed it. You have to be mindful of your center. For me, my center is my why. It's my faith in Jesus Christ. It's my loved ones. It's my children. They are my whys. My center is my love for the truth. My center is truth. It's integrity, being who we say we are. It's our truth and our values. Your center is your truth and your values. Our circle is our tribe, that inner tribe and the external tribe. And we have to be very mindful of who we allow into our circle, because that circle will absolutely influence our thoughts, our beliefs, our words, our choices, and actions. Our circle will absolutely influence who we are and who we become. Our coach can help us see the blind spots, and they can reflect our brilliance. They can see where we're actually stepping up in brilliance. So how do we get clear on what we want? How do we get clear on our intentions and our desires? Here are some action steps to get clear on that question of what do you want? What do I want? What do we intend? What do we desire in every area of life? So the first action step is to know your present 1020, also known as your location. Know your present location. Take inventory. Where are you emotionally, spiritually, physically, and in relationship? Where are you mentally? Where are you in every area of your life? Take an inventory on your relationships. Take an inventory on your health and fitness. Take an inventory of your career or your business, the metrics in those areas, and take an inventory on your finances, your debt. Take an inventory on those areas of your life. Get radically honest about your present position, your present location, your starting point for where you want to go. The next step is to get clear on your future 1020. Where is the destination? Is it that mountaintop experience? Is that mountaintop viewpoint? Get clear on your future 1020, also known as your future location. Who are you becoming? Who are you being? Where do you want to go? Who do you want to become? Who do you want to be? Have that vision. Without a vision, we perish, right? So define where you're going, not just your goals and intentions, but what's your vision for your marriage, for your parenting? What's your vision for being a father, your fatherhood? What's your vision for leadership and your faith? Again, in every area of your life. What is your vision in every area of your life? The third action step is to be vulnerable about your patterns. Identify the thoughts, beliefs, and habits that are leading towards destruction or disruption or dis-ease, which I also like to say can go to disease or just dysfunction. Be vulnerable about the patterns that are leading to dysfunction or not. Here's the reality of it. Be vulnerable about your patterns, your thoughts, beliefs, words, choices, and actions that are stopping you from getting what you absolutely desire in life. What are those limiting beliefs? What are those limiting words? What are those limiting choices and actions that are holding you back and keeping you stuck and holding you back from what you desire in life? Ask yourself, is this way of being building me or breaking me? See, we're all human beings and we all have a way of being. Are we being courageous or are we being afraid? Are we being abundant or are we operating in scarcity? Are we being scarce? Are we being honest or are we surrounding ourselves with stories and are we being, we're in lies? So are we being truthful or are we being kind of dishonest in any area? So be vulnerable about your patterns, be vulnerable about your way of being, because that's where clarity is and that's where the light is. The fourth action step is to bring the future to the present with I am. So you're going to draw your future 1020 into the present. So I am a champion. I am a millionaire. I am wealthy. I am abundant. I am a great father. I am loved. I am in relationship. I am in a loving partnership. I am in a loving Christ-centered partnership with the woman of my life, whatever you want to do, bring that future into your present reality with the power of I am. Speak your identity now. Live into that now. I am a present father. I am a loving and connected and present father. I am a strong and gentle leader. I am aligned with the truth. Bring that from the future into your present. Your fifth action step is to write it down. I believe what you write down actually gets accomplished. Again, there's science to this. There's plenty of leaders out there to define this, but write it down. Put it on paper, put it in the present tense, and be able to read it in the morning and the evening. Speak it out loud in the morning and the evening, but be able to write it down and keep it in front of you throughout the day. Create a written declaration for every area of your life, every major area, for your family, your faith, your family, your fitness, your finance, your fun, and your future. Write your intentions and your desires in every area of your life. Action step, the sixth action step is practice what I call the 3 Gs. Guard, guide, and grow. We have got to guard our heart, mind, and spirit. We got to guard our mind from all the toxic thoughts out there, the negative thoughts out there, the disbelief that's going to come at us, the resistance. We got to guard our minds from negative influences, negative beliefs, limiting beliefs. We have to guide our thoughts. We have to guide our thoughts and guide where we're going in life. We have to seek out good coaches, seek out good influences. We have to guide where we're going with our affirmations and our declarations. And we have to grow our life aligned with action and truth. We have to decide that we always want to grow and expand in our life. We don't ever want to become stagnant. We want to continue to grow for the rest of our life and grow in terms of longevity and expansion, but continue to grow in the truth. Continue to grow your mind, your body, and your spirit through action. Again, here's the bottom line. I love to tie this in with truth and God's truth. And in Philippians 4:8, it basically grounds it here. Whatever is true, whatever is noble, whatever is right, whatever is pure, whatever is lovely, whatever is admirable, if anything is excellent or praiseworthy, think about such things. The scripture isn't just about thoughts, it's about training your mind to support your destiny. And in Romans 12:2, it says, don't conform to the world, but transform by renewing your mind. But here it is, we can renew our mind through all of this. So here it is. If you feel stuck, between where you are or where you're called to be, or you're in that pit where you're just absorbed in the negative like I was. Don't stay there. Stop spinning in confusion. Let's get clear. I coach men who are ready to step into truth, set powerful intentions, and live from an aligned action, and aligned actions that create clarity, resilience, and power in their lives. Power in every area of their lives. So just drop truth in the comments or reach out to me. Reach out to me on Instagram at Raw Talent Mindset or at rawtalent.strongside, or find me on Facebook at Dave Talent, again, the Raw Talent Podcast, and just reach out and let's see where we can go to get you some clarity, resilience, and power in your life. But as you go into next week, ask yourself, what is it you want? What do you want? What do you desire? And what do you intend in every area of your life? In the meantime, peace and blessings.